Okay, let's have a look here. Greetings, Taurus. Let's just dive right into it. We'll shuffle in a moment here. We've already started. Pardon me. It's a big month for you. Okay, Taurus, let's just be frank about it. May 2018 is like a gateway. It's one of the biggest dates, time periods of the year as far as tarot illumination is concerned. For everybody, not just you, but for everybody. Why is this? It's because we have this massive shift into Taurus energy. May the 15th is the opening of the gates. We have the Taurus new moon, sun and moon, both in Taurus on May the 15th. Simultaneously, Uranus is moving into Taurus. This is a big, big life-changing transition for all of us. And for you, it's right in your face. Okay? So, in essence, what does that mean? It's the start of a brand new 7-year journey. You've just lived through the 12th house journey, which might have been very, very challenging for you. Okay? As energy moved through Aries. Okay, Uranus moved through Aries, but now we're starting. It's right in your face. This is a look. This is a 7-year journey starting right here. Let's put you here, sun, moon, or rising, and it's starting May the 15th. And from my perspective, what this means is radical shifts, unpredictable, amazing awakenings, shocking realizations as you literally, it's almost like transforming in terms of a butterfly, but not like the gut, like Pluto type thing, but more like radical, like spontaneous shifts. Like one minute you're living your life a certain way, then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm this new person now, or I have to become this new person, because it's going to be very much about how you are perceived by others and how you present yourself to the world. It's like the physical body. You might start, you know, to carry yourself in a more unique, more authentic way that's much more true for you, like radically improved. And to my feeling is that it's going to happen cycles, very, very vivid cycles. Like every 7 years, the sun, when it comes around here, is going to trigger another big moment. And every month, when the moon comes around here, it's going to trigger significant moments as well. And same for some of the other planets. But just looking kind of at the big ones right now, sun and moon, and how they affect us. So I'm just suggesting be prepared, okay? Expect, basically expect the unexpected. Lots of surprises, amazing spontaneous awakenings, hilarious shenanigans, shocking revelations. And let's just say it's going to be an amazing time for you, Taurus. Very, very life-changing. And as you move through, you might get a glimpse, for example, over here. Let's get back to May, not your whole life. Let's just get back to May. Uh, so you're already coming into May right here. At the very tippy end of April, there was a massive full moon here when the moon was in Scorpio and the sun was still in Taurus. Okay, and that might have been really accenting your primary, most fundamental relationship or relationships, the ones that would equate to a marriage or a one-on-one thing, like you with a significant other, whoever that might be, a child, a mother, a pet, a lover, well, more than a lover, actually, like a spouse kind of energy. And realizing what the heck is actually going on here. And then 2 weeks later, here we are, May 15th, we get the big opening of the gate to the new beginning for you here. And then you're going to have the afterglow effect for that for another 2 weeks. But that's when the energy shifts over into the Gemini phase here with the Sagittarius moon and the Gemini sun. So you might realize by the end of this month, you might have a glimpse and an awakening and realization that your values are changing radically from the core inside out. As you change radically, it's going to change your values, your value systems, what you believe is valuable, and how you relate with others and how others relate with you in terms of resources and sharing the most intimate part of yourself with another and how others share the most intimate parts of themselves with you. Radical shifts and changes are happening for you, Taurus. There's no way out of it. There's no going back. Luckily, you're supported by a lot of delicious Capricorn energy over here, Earth energy with Earth energy. So you're fine. You'll be fine. Just check in with Tarot Lumination now and again like we do already. Okay, let's get on with it. Sorry, that was a really long preamble, but I felt obliged to do it because it's kind of a big deal for everybody, but it's an exceptionally big deal for you, Taurus. All right. Cards are well shuffled in advance. No flyers, no jumpers, no oracles, no reversals. I love the cards the way they're originally painted. I don't like to look at art upside down. Okay, we're going to use this journey spread, and we're going to start from the core, the very, very heart of you, from which everything emanates. I mean, you can have all the brain waves you want in the world. You can have all the cars, the clothes, and you can do whatever you want in the world. But if your heart is not happy, healthy, or functional, the rest of it just sucks. Everything else sucks. Okay. So we need to put that, front and center. So the question is, Taurus, are you listening to your heart? Are you listening to what your heart is telling you? And then realigning and integrating according to what you hear, instead of dismissing it and putting it aside or ignoring these things. This is not the time for that anymore. It's time to take radical changes, radical shifts, and allow that it's going to happen irreversibly, okay? In ways that are very unpredictable. So let's cut it up. Please bring your angels into the reading, okay? Share, just like Tarot Illumination shares with you guys, all right? And we're going to make the best of it. Okay, here we go. Bless you, Taurus. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Bless this reading, people. Okay, here we go. This is the heart of you. It's pulsing. It knows what it needs. It knows what it wants. And it's up to you, Taurus, to listen and feed that, nourish and nurture the heart, okay? If you choose otherwise, then it's your loss. What are you bringing in with you, Taurus? Think of this as legacy energy. Maybe you've had a really bumpy time lately. Maybe you're on a really high roll right now. Maybe you're kind of like feeling banged about from the Leo Aquarius eclipses and the Leo Aquarius eclipse coming up. Maybe your body's already anticipating and sensing and feeling this big Taurus shift of May 15th and how you're looking at new vistas for the next 7 years. Maybe you're just getting a glimpse right now, deep at the soul level. Who knows? Over here is the ever-present now. This is sometimes a very challenging energy for people because a lot of times we don't want to be present because that means having to be present. Duh. Being very grounded, very present, conscious, clear, being here can be hard for a lot of people. It's much easier to default to the past. Allow yourself to live through automatic behaviors, preconditioning, whatever it is, and use that as the template for whatever you expect to happen in your future. Like dismissing life as though you have no say in the matter at all. In other words, oh, I was born poor, that means I'm screwed forever. All right, oh well. That's very defeatist, very unloving type of behavior. All I'm suggesting is by staying very present in the now and not allowing yourself to be owned by default automatic behaviors and not allowing yourself to be like conditioned by expectations, you can liberate yourself radically. The energy of Uranus is very much about liberation. It would be like you, Taurus, is saying, enough is enough. I want to be free, to be who I really, really am. Thank you very much, whatever that might be. And you're going to find out, okay? So you find out by giving yourself permission to do so, by opening the gate, staying present, allowing for whatever happens to happen, no matter how weird and disorienting, understanding that this is part of the journey. So let's say you're really, really good at staying in the present, in the now, and you have the chance and you understand that this is where you activate your evolution through the healing power of your decisions. That would be over here. Okay, so in doing so, understanding that it is a right and a privilege, how are you going to execute your decisions in a way that is most loving for you? Love thyself, Taurus, okay? Because that's what's best for you, which ultimately is best for your loved ones, which is ultimately best for the whole planet. I know that's a lot to put into a tiny tarot reading, but that's kind of how it works as far as Tarot Illumination is concerned. So let's say you figure this out and you realize, oh, maybe Tarot Illumination's onto something. Then this would generate consequences. Love is as love does. If you see this as actions, okay? Taking loving actions. Making loving decisions. So let's say, how does that look when you're doing a really good job? You're in the zone, you're going with the flow of it, no matter how weird and disorienting it all is. Not just chasing the thrills, chasing the highs, but allowing yourself to oscillate and move through the ups and downs. It's going to be radical shifts, 7-year journey. Every time the sun moves around to here, it's going to be a big trigger. year by year by year. Every time the moon moves around to here, 12 or 13 times a year, it's going to be a big trigger. Okay, so I'm just giving you a heads up. Okay, there is an order to this. Okay, so what does it look like if you mess up or when you mess up? Because you're going to mess up now and again, like we all do. And like it's just like slipping when you're hiking or twisting your ankle when you're going on a big journey or just getting pissed off and wiped out and saying, I just can't handle it anymore. I need a break. Whatever it is, how does that look? Okay. When you're not letting your, well, okay, never mind. Excuse me. Let's move on. Let's go to the momentum here, setting up for the next beat. This is just one tiny little reading for May, but my feeling, because it's such a significant month, the trajectory and the ripple effects of this reading kind of go above and beyond the normal. So please allow for that. Okay, so this is the setup for the next beat of the heart. Okay, the heart is always beating for you, loving you as best as you can, as best as it can. Are you loving your heart as the best as you can from your conscious self? Okay, how far out of alignment are you between your conscious self and your heart? We're going to find out. Let's have a look at the weather, circumstantial energy, and you're going to make the best of it, Taurus, like the rest of us have to, okay? Whatever the weather might be. King of Cups, okay. To me, this is very good news. To me, Taurus, this is an indication that the circumstances are almost like perfectly set up for you to attain mastery in this journey ahead for you, where no matter how challenging it gets, no matter how tough, no matter how rough the emotional conditions, the circumstances, the emotional turmoil, the let's say the deep shifting of heart soul energy that's going to occur as these transformational like radical shifts, these earthquakes uh, happen in yourself, you're going to handle it. In fact, you're going to more than handle it. What it's going to do, it's going to trigger growth, like growing pains, which my feeling is going to take you more and more and more into a place of mastery of self over the heart, over the emotions, so that in other words, you're not owned by all the fear and you're not overwhelmed by all the ecstatic moments at work to the point where you think it's like a drug and you have to stay like that all the time. No, to me, this is an understanding of being very grounded, very, very centered, very conscious in the heart energy. And you're already aligned. It's to me, it feels like Taurus, you must have done a lot of work in yourself and you're already aligned for this. You're prepared for this. You are preparing for this. You know it's going to happen and you know you're going to handle it no matter what. Okay? So let's get into it. What's going on at the heart level? Okay, my feeling here is with the Ten of Swords is that you've reached like the end of the end. This would be, to me, classical representation of the end of the Uranus and Aries cycle here. It's the end of it. There is nothing more to do. It can't get any worse. It's already bottomed out. It's the end of that chapter. It's now officially history. All the pain and suffering and everything that you've been living through for the last 7 years, or even whatever others, astrological cycles you want to pertain to regarding this, it's the end of it. This is over for you. The heart is saying, we don't need this anymore. This is done. I can't take it anymore. I refuse to accept any more self-sabotage. I refuse to accept any more pain that's administered by you, dear Taurus, to myself, by others to me, by my own attitudes, my own perceptions, my own upbringing, my own conditioning from youth, my own expectations of a future, or whatever they are. I don't need this anymore. I'm done with it. I don't want, it's almost like the heart is saying, I can't take it anymore, so I won't take it anymore. And there's no point in trying to take it anymore because you can't get worse than this anyway. The only way up from here is up. So to me, this is kind of good news. I'm not really scared by reading or seeing this card at all. To me, this is the opening of the gateway to the new horizons, so that years and years and years of grief, pain, suffering, mental anguish, mental chaos, every imaginable pain in the mind, especially, uh, is being, to me, it's like obliterated. The heart is saying, we're just going to blow this shit up, okay? and we're done with this. It's going on. We've bled out. It's the end of it, and we're going to start absolutely from scratch. I hope the channel doesn't flag me for using the SHIT word. Pardon me. Pardon me. I have to keep this channel highly sanitized. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for doing that. It's just that it makes it very hard for me because I tend to blaspheme a lot and I like to have very vivid language. So I'm trying to be very composed for everybody, not just you, Taurus. Anyway, so let's just say your heart is screaming out very loudly, I can't take this pain anymore. I don't need this pain anymore. And you, Taurus, need to listen because we're going to start from scratch again. There's a whole new world lying ahead. All options are open. What are you bringing in with you? Okay. Oh, beautiful. Well, it looks like you're fully loaded up and ready, packed. To me, it looks like, to me, this is just glorious. This is like the embodiment of the ultimate Taurian energy, where you're coming in fully prepped. You already know, you've been listening to your heart, and you're being very, very loving towards your heart, just as circumstantial energies are indicating to you, you've already done all the work. All the pain has been identified. It doesn't mean it's necessarily all healed yet, but everything that needs healing now has been identified, and there's going to be radical shifts and changes coming up for you in these departments because all of this is unacceptable. None of these are acceptable anymore. Okay, so you're coming in knowing this, and it's all like in your full glory. In fact, it's just the opposite. Like it's almost like you, Taurus, are saying, we're we're doing this the right way now. We're coming in full of love, self-love, abundance, the enjoyment of life, like being a classic Taurian, where you are now, it's like you've earned the rights and the credentials to be a full classic Taurian, where you can express yourself, you can enjoy the senses, you can enjoy love, you can enjoy being loved, you can share your love, you can share your beauty, you can share your bounty, you can shamelessly radiate your glory. It doesn't matter about the gender, guys, females, whoever. It's very, very beautiful. It's very fertile. It's very abundant. It's like in that energy of nature, abundant nature in the forest, where, yes, if you closely examine it, there's always radical, violent competition between the plants and the trees to get the light and the resources. But from the bigger perspective, it's just a beautiful living organism. The leaves that die off turn into fertilizer, and the new growth is more beautiful than before. Then you have the rains and the storms, and then you have the sun, and it becomes very splendid and gorgeous and succulent and beautiful, and you're coming in like glowing. To me, it feels like you're coming into May glowing, and you're already set up and you're poised for this journey. Okay, it's almost like bring it on. I am the Taurus, so there's no, it's almost like it's almost like you're saying, you know what, I've been waiting for this for a long time. Yeah, it's going to be a freaky ride, and it's going to be sometimes very shocking and spontaneous, and we don't actually know what's going to happen, but you're ready for it. You're ready, ready, ready for it. Like, just remember, look at this. If you think of this as the full cycle, uh, you know how the sun takes a year to go around here. You know how the moon takes 2.5 days to go from one side to another. You know, with Taurus, I think it's with Uranus, I think it's 184 years. What is it? No, it's 84 years to go the whole way around. Can you imagine that? It's one lifetime. So this, dear Taurus, is probably a once in a lifetime occasion for you. So I'm hoping that you get it, that you understand it, and you're going to really resonate with that and make the best of it. And I have a feeling that's exactly what's happening. What about the present? What about the now? Okay, well, you're definitely making plans. It's almost literally like you're glowing and smiling, and deep down, it's just like, if everyone else is quaking and shuffling in their feet and kind of like thinking, oh man, how can I get out of this? Is there another way we can go to elimination? Can I get off this bus and get on the next one if you don't mind? And Taurus is like, ha, I'm going to be in the front seat. I'm going to enjoy the ride. It's going to be a fantastic journey. And you're starting to get glimpses already. You're starting to literally like here in May, Like right now, it's like you're literally at that point where you're starting to see the vision, starting to see the vistas, doing the creative visualization, and getting the feel of it. And then from there, that's where you know you're going to start making your decisions. Yes, it's very, very early days. Right here in May, at the beginning of May, you're coming into it. You're walking up to the gate. May 15th, the gates open. May 15th onward for 7 years, it's a whole new journey. And you're right there. You're right at the front line of the gate saying, I'm ready. I'm ready to roll with this no matter what. Bring it on. Because that's where you know life is for you. I'm so happy to read this for you and see this. I'm like, doesn't matter what the rest of the cards say now. To me, this is really good news for you, Taurus. No matter how challenging it gets, deep at the heart level, you know this is over and this is what's happening now. So to me, this looks like you're very well poised in terms of uh, getting yourself ready and actually being in your power, being in the present, in the now, in ways maybe that a lot of other people are not able to do or are really struggling. But it looks to me like you are more than determined. It's almost like this is your big focus, is to be right here, right present in the now, knowing that that is where you own your power, and that's where you exercise your power through the healing power of your decisions. Wow. So we've got the Queen of Wands here. So this is literally taking everything, taking full advantage of all the circumstances, no apologies, and it's almost like it's almost like a movie where you realize that there's a lot at stake here, and because you're almost the embodiment of the journey itself, because you are Taurus and it's going to be happening right there in your first house and you're already set up for it, and mastery is the outcome, mastery is the mission, is the purpose, is the destination. It's like right here, this is happening right now, and you know it's like when you're making your decisions, you know you're doing it from a position of strength, of courage, of having worked incredibly hard to get to this position. The Queen of Wands is very beautiful, inspiring energy where, again, forget the gender, but where she would be more than happy to like live the journey for herself, but also be kind of like a guiding light, a beacon for others. She radiates the energy of like someone who is happy, so happy to wear the crown, so honored to be this in this leadership kind of posture, and it's very, very dignified, but there's almost zero ego here because she radiates the energy of somebody like, well, it's almost like that Lady Di kind of energy. Well, she's happy to take her gloves off and fancy shoes and everything and get there in the mud and play with little kids and get all dirty and then get cleaned up later. She's perfectly happy, with a grilled cheese sandwich, if she wants to hang out with her mates and her people. And yet she's also totally majestic. It's that kind of energy. And it's for guys too. Okay. So to me, again, this is very fortuitous, very supportive energy, like you're poised and ready for this and bring it on. It's just that it seems like you're setting the standards extremely high for yourself. So in some ways, I'm a little scared that every now and again, when you do hit those moments of disappointment, it could be pretty uncomfortable. So how are you going to stay in the zone, in your in alignment, so that you're constantly aware that this is done, this is over, and it's a new journey. We're going to apply all the love and healing going forward to like restart a journey. In other words, 84 years from now, when this comes back again, you'll have another 10 swords there, but chances are you won't be on the planet anyway. Maybe you will, I don't know. Maybe by then everyone will live to 150 and you'll get 2 Uranus cycles in your life. Who knows? Anyway, so how do you stay in the zone and do this effectively on a continuous basis? Okay, this to me again is very good news. You understand that you don't have the answers all the time. You understand and accept that you are a human being. You do have pain, you do have flaws. And just almost exactly as you solve a lot of issues and you do a lot of self-healing and you become this radically newly improved version of yourself, um, it's on the understanding that you're doing it incrementally, one little tiny step at a time, and you can only do so much at a time, and it's okay. This is a journey, it's not a destination, okay? So you're living through the journey on the understanding that this is a long-term journey, and you're going to learn a lot on the way, and you're going to give it everything you've got. You're going to bring all your resources that you can with you, and even a lot of those things that you don't know what to do with or how to do it, you're going to learn along the way. No shame, no apologies, because everyone else is going to be having to do the same thing. In fact, they might be struggling a lot more than you. So they might be looking to you for guidance and inspiration. And you can even admit to them, like, I don't know it all, people. I don't understand it. I'm just living through it the best as I can, like with you guys too. So I'll do the best I can for myself. And if there's anything I can share with you or you can learn from me in doing so, go for it. I'm not going to hold that from you. Okay. So you generate consequences. Okay. With the Knight of Wands here, to me, it generates courage. It's like love breeds love, courage breeds courage. So it gives you ever increasing inspiration to get into the journey more and more. In other words, once this journey starts, like once the gates open, and no matter how scary it is, you get into it, you step into the vortex, this journey. So long as you maintain the courage, stick to the plan, it's like it becomes more and more exciting. It becomes more and more like how you would like it to be. So you can see that there is a purpose to this, no matter how shocking or disorienting or revolutionary this might be. Like when you have those moments of amazing liberation and freedom as you become more and more your true self, you might be tempted to like dim your light, dumb yourself down because it's too much. But the courage card here to me is telling you that's not going to happen. You're going to shine and you're going to continue to shine and no apologies. Okay. So to me, that's good news. Now, what happens if you mess up? Let's just say you have a really rough day. You're completely wiped out and you tripped up and you just need a rest and you're having a massive emotional breakdown because not everything is working perfectly all the time. How does that look? Okay. Impoverishment of the soul. You end up derelict, bankrupt. It's kind of a big drop because, with the Uranus energy, it's kind of impersonal. It doesn't really care if you're hurting or not. So when things go wrong, there's a potential things go badly wrong. Now, when things go right and you stick into it, it means like you have the ability to face off all adversities, okay? And you have the gifts and the resources there. And no matter how rough and challenging it gets, you're going to have the right people with you. And it's knowing that things like loyalty count, things like trust, compassion, like all these things that are evidence of love, where love is as love does. Like when you stay in the zone here, it doesn't matter how bad it gets. You're still going to stick with the plan. You still stick with being your true self and allowing the new thing to unfold. Like to me, it feels that there's a lot of growing pains here. It's like it isn't just a little cycle like this, okay, which would be a lot of the way a lot of planets work. With Uranus, it can go like this. And when you have those drop moments, it could feel devastating. It could feel tragic. On the other hand, it can flip in an instant, and then you're back on top. You're on top of this, and like you can live through the hard times together with yourself and with significant others, okay, in the process. So what is that, what in terms of momentum, what's that looking like? Okay, please understand here with the Wheel of Fortune, see that little weird wiggly thing I just showed you, where we're looking at the big trigger that's happening here in May. It's like, if you think of the Uranian pattern as like dun, 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 and then the sun activates it, or something like that, or Saturn activates it and it goes oh, like this, or whatever it is, something happens and it triggers these things. All of that is perfect. Everything, all the cycles, all the events, all the unpredictable, amazing things, all the unpredictable, scary things are exactly as they should be. And why is that? It's because they can't be any other way. Please understand that all these patterns, all these events here, all these circumstantial things, things like the planets whizzing around, impacting you with their energy, They don't necessarily compel you, but they would impel you to do things. Like, you don't have to act on reflex behavior. You can make conscious, deliberate decisions on what to do in the moment. So it's all working for you. All the circumstantial energy is working for you. It's never against you. It's just a question of what are you going to decide to do in that very, very moment in time right now. I'm sorry this got into a really broad, super broad spectrum reading. It's really just for May, but I feel this is kind of a setup and has a trajectory above and beyond May. So I feel that you're really, really good. In some ways, it's just like everything is smiling and working for you, but it is going to be radical. It's going to be unpredictable. And there are going to be moments when you're going to feel like it's not working at all. But you will recover and grow from there very, very significantly. Okay? Into your most wonderful, delicious self, dear Taurus. You're already primed for that. It's not. This is not a problem. All right. So let's just leave it at that. I don't want to mess the reading up anymore by saying anymore. You can reinterpret however you want. Okay, Taurus, it's your reading. It's for you, and I'm happy to do this for you. And thank you for choosing Tarot Illumination. Bye bye.